here. Chris Scopo. How you doing, buddy?
Buddy, I'm great. Thanks for having me. You got a lot of energy coming in here.
Hey,
I tell you.
I love that, man.
I like it.
I love that. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, buddy.
Where are you coming from?
Astoria?
Love it. A lot of comics in Astoria. I mean, this isn't really as of so recent. I feel like right after or right before the pandemic, it seemed like a lot of people were moving to Astoria, huh?
It's just affordable.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the city, but not the city, but close enough to the city where it could be the city. So it's we can't live in the city. That's all it is.
How long have you been there?
Well, I'm from Queens.
Oh, okay. So you've lived there like your whole life?
Not Astoria, but I mean Astoria 6 years. 6 years. I'm from Middle Village, Queens.
Middle Village.
You know about Middle Village?
Yeah, okay, bro. So I played tennis pretty competitively from the age of like 11 to 16 before college.
We got those big park over there. Yeah,
bro. So I would spend, I don't know, man, like maybe anywhere from 5 to 7 days out there.
Oh,
like
really?
Every other month, something like that.
It's serious over there?
Just because there were a lot of tennis courts. Yeah, a lot of kids who would like play at the National Tennis Center. They'd go and train in Alley Pond and shit like that. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one in Queens Village.
I know all fucking Queens.
Okay, so they have, they have the
Name
biggest.
anything.
They have the biggest indoor tennis bubble in North America.
Okay. Yo, tennis is such a weird like sport. Like it's some people play tennis. I'm like, I see it.
You see it on me?
I see it, yeah, and you.
Bro, so I have these badges from the U.S. Open over here, player guests and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, I go to the Open every year, and I get the souvenir fucking thing. I like it.
Which thing? You mean the Amex thing?
Yeah. I sit up top
Chris
though.
Scopo is here for the evening session. You're just picking your nose, like, oh shit, I'm on TV.
Bro, I sit last row up top. I don't go.
Bro, that's scary though.
Nah, but I have to keep it Queens. I can't. It's too. Yo, it's people over there are too fucking like polite and shit because it's an all world sport.
You can be louder up there.
So it's like because I'm like fucking talking during the set. I'm like hit it. I'm like hit it, and then people are like.
Are you like during the middle of the point?
I get jacked. If I have a good shot, if I get a good shot, I'm like fucking let's go.
So do you go to a lot of Mets games growing up?
Yeah, I'm a diehard Mets fan.
Dude, I was a big Mets fan, went to Shea Stadium, and then I kind of lost interest because I was going to the Bronx a lot more instead of going to freaking Queens.
They stunk for fucking 20 years.
2000 was a great year, dude. Subway Series.
No, it was terrible. We lost in Subway, yeah.
Well, I meant in general, people for baseball.
Yeah, but like I'm a diehard Mets fan. This is like they're honestly taking over my life, and it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing I have going on.
Really? And so this year you must have been loving it.
Yeah, until we fucking lost. And I felt like I shot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got dumped the next day. The next day I got dumped
after the Mets lost.
After the Mets lost, hurt more. The Mets lost.
That's crazy that she dumped you right after you'd be paying more attention to her. I feel like.
I think she wanted to knock it out 2-1. I think she was like,
two birds. Let me get
a double banger right here. So it's not 2 weeks from now.
So where in Queens did you go to high school?
I went to Holy Cross, which is in Flushing. Here's the deal. A lot of like white kids from like the Queens area, the parents don't want to send them kids to public school because the public school in the city ain't great. Not the best in the world.
No.
So you go to like Catholic private schools, they call it, which is Holy Cross, which is like basically a public school. And it's like dumb, like a lot of firefighters, a lot of union guys from like high school.
What's the one right across from the National Tennis Center? Is it St. Francis Preparatory?
From the tennis center.
Is that right across from the National Tennis Center, like on the other side of the LIE? I think it's St. Francis Prep.
Oh, that's on the LIE? Yeah, that's Prep. That's our rival. That's a fucking big rival, yeah.
All right, nice. But did you play sports in high school?
Yeah, I played baseball. I played baseball in college, too.
Where in college?
Sacred Heart University.
Bro, you can take a second and have a sip of that
while
I tell you this story.
Oh, let's do it.
Well, bro, I went to UConn.
Okay, yeah, you Stores.
Man, so,
Stores,
dude,
Connecticut.
I know you guys had a pretty solid tennis team. You guys were, one of your best sports was probably baseball.
Division I AA. Sorry, we'll just say it. Division I AA.
Okay, so that's like UCF in football type. So we would...
we would get murdered by UCF in football.
Well, but I mean, if you were to be, I'm talking about like sports wise, like that's what it's equivalent to. Like you're not in the top part of Division I.
No. We used to play we used to go down and play like big schools.
You guys would play us in baseball.
Yeah. I played you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
how'd you do?
Not great.
We were sick, dude.
Not great.
Baseball. We were not great at tennis.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 30.
You went to school with George Springer.
Yeah, he went to the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
He was nasty. Or I think he was a year or two older than me.
Yeah,
he is on the Astros now, and I think he just
he's on Toronto.
Oh, well, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a tennis guy right there. He doesn't know fucking
I don't know fucking shit.
Come on.
No, but Matt Barnes, pitcher.
Yeah.
So there were some good guys, but I'd say tennis wise, we were not at the top of like the Division I tennis game.
Well, yeah, no, they're not shuffling the funds for the tennis kids. Exactly. Yeah, they're shuffling the funds for the basketball team.
Thank you for saying that, bro. We didn't have any scholarships on our tennis team.
Oh, really?
So, yes,
no scholarship at all?
No, dude. I mean, kids would have academic scholarships, but athletic-wise, no. The girls' tennis team had 3. for like the 12
Why did you guys
of
get
them.
0 then?
Because we initially were they kept us around because we kept the GPA up for those teams.
They need that. Was that like thing at the end of the year? The GPA thing. It's some
we all go into
shit.
court or some shit.
Yeah.
But the thing was with the tennis, like as soon as the pandemic happened, and then they realized they needed to cut back and like tighten in on the budget, we were one of the first teams to get cut. Us and the golf team, because we didn't bring any money.
Yeah, you're not selling tickets.
Money.
Yeah. Exactly. No one's showing up to see guys play love matches and shit like that.
Exactly. Love. Well, people like the tennis matches, but dude, when it came to basketball on the women's and men's side, and then football, and then baseball and soccer, those were like the top 5.
Is it like with tennis? Is it true? Like not true, but like the guys that are good in college and shit like that, but like they're never going to be anything because like if you're really good, you go pro right away.
Yeah, dude. It's funny how you know all these sports things.
Yeah, I'm a loser. I do nothing with my life in Queens. Are you kidding me? I have a dog and a studio apartment. That's all I have.
But to know that about tennis is pretty impressive when not knowing so much about the sport, potentially.
Well, I mean,
but you go to the US Open all the time.
I said the kid who won it this year, the Alcaraz kid, he's 19.
Nasty.
Yeah, he's not going to University of Georgia to sign up and do 3 years of college.
So by the time you're like 17 years old,
they know you're
whether you're going to spend a year at Georgia, at Stanford, and then go pro, or definitely not.
I watched the Williams movies, the Williams movie.
With Will
King
Smith?
Richard, yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. But like at like 12, they were down in Florida, and then they had the one thing about Andy Roddick. Like the kid Andy Roddick was in it, and I was like, oh, at 12, they're going down and training right away.
Like Andy Roddick was playing with Marty Fish like every single day. They were living together in Florida.
Yeah,
a little bit. So when I was 14 years old, I was homeschooled for tennis because I thought that.
So you were that good?
Potentially, I thought I was going to go pro. Maybe.
Can I say I didn't know anything about you until recently, until you're Julio's boy and you hooked up with a really hot tennis star. That's all I knew about you.
Who told you that?
Julia.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Julia, and I was like, this kid's amazing.
Yeah, dude. So I was super serious in tennis. Like I was in the tennis circle of kids who were gonna take it to the next level. But like I don't want to say I started so late, but it's not like a baseball sport where you can really start playing when you're 8 and 9 years old and get very good by the time you're 10, 11, and 12, right? In tennis, it's different.
The best kid in my high school, baseball, he was a football. He went to UVA and played for the Cowboys. He didn't pick a baseball up the whole entire offseason, whatever, until we started back up in March, and he's best player on the team.
That was like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he was unreal. Yeah.
So if you're a great athlete, you can be great at baseball, something like that. But tennis, it really was a sport, or I found that the kids who were really at the top of the game, they were playing 12-year-olds when they were 6 and 7 years old. They got in the game, experienced. Their parents maybe wanted them to play a little bit more. It's way more center focused on like independence and stuff like that.
I like to go when I go once a year. I like to get there early and watch the juniors play because I'm like, let's see how good.
The second week you go?
Yes, I go to like round of 16 usually.
Love that too.
And
those tickets actually, you're talking about the top row. Those aren't cheap tickets.
I get it on the arm. Oh,
let's go.
Yeah. I got an aunt who likes tennis. She goes, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Very dope.
I bring a girl every time too. I don't bring a dude. I need a little arm candy for this event. You know,
well, she'll let you do your thing too. Oh shit! Oh, you missed it. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Like a couple times, that girl canceled on me last minute. Like I gotta find another girl. I don't know what to do.
Do you bet on the U.S. Open?
I did this year.
How'd you do?
I did not because I think Alcaraz played the American kid or something like that. There was an American. I was like, I'm not rooting against America. I'm not. And it was a girl. She won the first set, and I was jacked because I got her at plus money, and then she fucking got smoked the next two.
Oh, okay.
But so I watch these junior kids because I want to see like how good are these kids? Like, how good is like the pros? So I'm up high. I can't like you could see how fast the ball's going, but not like right on court. And I see these kids. I'm like, they're fucking unreal at 16.
Yeah. It's the ball striking is at another level when you look at the kids who are in those junior levels, like the kids who are making like the semifinals, quarterfinals of those junior Grand Slam tournaments. So those are the kids who are the best ball strikers. And then maybe within like the next 3 years, you'll see some kids get stronger, grow a little bit. Maybe their serve will get bigger, but that's usually a good gauge of who's going to be the next top player.
That's so funny how you say that. It's kind of the way in baseball. Like when I went from high school to college, the biggest problem I had was hitting, and I was like, because the pitchers could throw it where they wanted to.
Like they can move the ball a
if
little
they
more?
wanted to throw the ball on the inside part of the plate, they got on the inside part of the plate. The speed wasn't the biggest adjustment. It was that they could throw it there, and it's going to go there every time.
What position did you play?
I was catcher.
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Like I got a fat
so
butt.
Do you have any? Yeah, you got some nice thighs.
I got some thunder thighs. Yeah.
What's it? But did you ever have any dreams or aspirations of playing at maybe a higher caliber school or going pro?
When I was 7, I should have went to a D2 school. D3
like
school.
Rollins. That's where Mark.
No. Rollins is a legit baseball player.
Yeah.
Baseball, because all the dumb kids go there.
Okay.
Rollins is like school for like retarded kids.
I almost went there for tennis too.
Yeah, they can't. They can't get into big school, so you go there for a year. Yeah. No, Rollins is good actually. Rollins is really good. But no, like I should have went. I didn't play as much. I just went there and I was like, oh, D1, whatever. But you get like perks. You get a nice perks of playing a D1 sport.
Yeah.
You know the deal. You get some nice free shit.
Bro, I mean, considering like our
You get meal money?
our athletic program had the $80 million budget from Nike. So all the clothes that we would get and all the treatment in terms of traveling, we do the same thing as the basketball team.
Dude, I remember going when I got to college. I was like, we get all this free shit. That's amazing. This is so cool. Then we played University of Georgia, and I was like, we're fucking in welfare.
on another level.
We're welfare compared to these people.
Were you guys Adidas?
Yeah, we're Adidas.
Yeah, so we were Nike, and I guess they loved us because of the basketball team. It was really crazy.
Dude, we play University. We went to the men's version of the baseball version of March Madness.
NCAA championship.
Yeah, so we went to that, and like we played.
Where was it when you went?
University of Georgia, because there's 16 regional schools. So every team hosts. It's different than in basketball. It's not like you go to one specific place. So each top 16 seeds host an event.
Oh, and then it's like sectional winners.
Yeah, then you go Then you go further. So we went to University of Georgia, and like they treated us like we were like 5, because they like gave us a private tour of their facility. Like they were like, oh, we're gonna just murder these kids. Let's treat them nicely. Like the players were nice to us. Like we should have fucking like been like, we're playing you for the NCAA champion. They're like, no, it's okay, kids. Come on inside. Hang out with us. Want to play pool?
So who'd you play first
Want to play
round?
pool? University of Georgia. We lost 10-0.
Oh fuck! Shit.
We got smoked by
This is
Georgia.
when you were a senior, or did you play all 4
I was a
years
freshman.
there?
I was a freshman. I played 2.5 years.
I played 2.5 years of UConn tennis.
Shout out 2.5 years.
2.5
What up?
years, bro. After the second year, I wanted to just smoke weed and
I knew it wasn't good enough. I lived with all the kids too. That was fun. But I lived with we were the party house. I was the party guy after that. And
Well, did you join a frat after that? Or
No.
You were on a frat at the same time?
No. Like my school's different, small. If you joined a frat in my school, it means you had no friends. You couldn't make friends. I played baseball, so that's pretty much a frat.
Totally.
So it's just you didn't have to I didn't have to pledge or anything, whatever that bullshit was. But yeah, that's how everybody, like, we're poor compared to those schools. It's ridiculous. Like I get why they're so good.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see the money that goes into some of these top sports programs. It's about time that they're going to pay these kids. I don't know what's going to happen with the baseball and stuff, but I'm going to be interested to see how much your average player on a Georgia or a Duke makes in baseball or
They make nothing.
Tennis.
No, they don't prop up baseball. It doesn't they'll make nothing. They'll make a little bit of cash, but like not anything to like they can feed their families on.
So it's just going to be the football and basketball that are going to make like
How many
millions.
Think about how many baseball players do you know, like off the top of your head,
that are in playing college baseball?
Yeah, not even college baseball, that are they're playing professional baseball. And like, so if you play college baseball, you get a lot of guys get drafted out of high school and they go. But like if you're sometimes like a lot of guys will be like, oh, I got drafted in the 3rd round, I'm going to be a first rounder in 2 years. So they'll go to college. So it's like those are the only guys that are like big players really. So if you just go to college, you're not getting anything. You're not getting any money or anything like that. No one gives a fuck about baseball at all. It's terrible.
It's interesting.
Support baseball, kids. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since like after you see how fun the playoffs are every year, like anybody who or is from that city that is making the World Series or making a deep run in the playoffs, you know, like a Houston or Phillies or something, the town loves it. You know, for however long
those
you love it.
scumbags are like, we can go to Philly and pop perks at a game. Let's fucking do that.
What's it called? Kensington on the way?
Yeah, those pieces of shit Philadelphia. I actually I kind of like Philadelphia people now. They're just pieces of shit and they know it.
They just fucking know.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's a beat. Is he about to sign a new deal?
No, he just signed for 13 years. He's good enough. He's good.
Oh,
yeah, 13 years, 325 million. Aaron Judge is the guy.
Yeah, what's the deal with Judge? What do you think? Is he going to sign with the Mets?
No. Mets
Steve Cohen's not going to pay up?
Daddy Cohen, my dad, my father.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I think he's going to go because he doesn't want to upset. The Steinbrenner do have a lot of power in baseball, even though they're.
But George is dead.
Yeah, but the Steinbrenner family does, and like Steve Cohen doesn't want to come in and just spend a lot of money because they didn't want him in. Hal Steinbrenner actually like voted for him, like convinced a lot of people to let him in because he's good for baseball.
Oh, not a lot of Steve Cohen as an owner.
Yeah, not all the owners wanted him because they knew he was going to just fucking spend an insane amount of money.
And did you hear that Jeff Bezos potentially might buy an NFL team? He might buy the Commodores, I think.
Oh, the
Redskins,
the Washington football
Which
team.
Would be crazy, dude. I mean, the guy owns the Post, and then he's going to own the freaking NFL.
First of all, I mean, that guy he's taking steroids left and right. No one talks about it.
He looks jacked.
I know,
dude,
right?
Pop him up on the yacht right here, dude. I saw it first, and I was like, "There's no way this guy is not taking steroids."
Bro, I am
some HGH and testosterone.
I'm so pro steroids of like these people figuring it out for us. Let them fucking take their pills. Let them die of cancer, and then the 10 years from now, 20 years from now, like we can get it at a CVS.
Right dose of like HGH.
I go to my CVS at HGH today. Let's go. Let's get it in.
So you must have known a few guys who were taking some serious stuff.
Yeah. Like 4 guys on my team were taking steroids.
But did they not get drug tested?
You just find a way around that. You just find your way around
And
that.
how dramatic was their improvement in the game of baseball and their physical appearance?
Physical appearance was the biggest one.
Was a lot of like acne and shit, small balls?
No, it's that's not. I mean, the small ball shit happens like in the '90s when like steroids weren't good. Steroids are a lot better now, but yeah, not now. I mean, some guys had acne, but
Did it
it's
take
weird.
anyone to the next? Go ahead.
It's weird. Pitchers are the ones that do a lot of steroids. They don't get jacked. Winstrol does not make you jacked. Winstrol makes you like your arm speed
Beefier?
Yeah, I know a guy that my cousin played for Siena. And this guy played in the major leagues. And
New York somewhere.
yeah, he was drafted out of Siena College. When he came to Siena, he was throwing 82 as a lefty. He took Winstrol his sophomore year and got up to 94. Yeah, and then played in the major leagues.
What?
Yeah, so basically steroids gave this guy a career.
So he just took one cycle and then
no, he took more. He took more than one cycle, but like a few cycles of like that. But once you're drafted, you're drafted. Then you can't
get
just
the league minimum.
You can't just stop. You know, that's a while away.
Right. That's like
You can't.
after.
But you don't just when you throw 94. You don't just stop because you're on Winstrol. It doesn't stop because you're not on Winstrol. You slow down a little bit, but you're still throwing in the 90s now.
Okay, so let's talk about a guy like Barry Bonds, who is obviously the black sheep of baseball within the last, I guess, 10 years. You consider a guy like Pete Rose who cheated.
Real quick, by the way, are we alienating your whole fucking?
No.
podcast?
This is
Like-
great, dude, because every episode we get into a deep topic, which we're getting into right now,
okay.
so people love it.
I don't
Last
want
episode was about
some-
heroin. My mom was like, that was a great episode. You look so interested.
I don't want
was
some
like,
fucking
feed me.
girl that's loving you is like, this weird kid's
No,
talking
dude.
about steroids and baseball.
Dude, you know what? There was a time about a year and a half ago, man, when I was super into the gym, and no joke, I was like doing research on SARMs and shit like that.
But I got
Working out seriously.
I got a buddy that hit me up recently. We're talking because I'm sober and he's sober. He told me he's
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm sober. I was like, oh, that's great, man. That's awesome. He goes, yeah, but I'm on Winstrol right now.
Oh man,
I was
I
like,
feel like that cannot be
he's
sober,
like,
just mind wise.
He's just like, I need to do something.
Anyway, so talking about Barry Bonds, a guy who, do you think the trajectory of his career dramatically changed? I mean, he wouldn't have hit 700.
Let me tell you something about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds
go
is
ahead, home runs.
probably the greatest hitter that we will ever see in our lifetime.
Yeah.
There's no one better hitter than Barry Bonds. It's just steroids just made it like he was already phenomenal, and steroids made him an alien. That's how good he was. There's a story. He was a batting coach for the Marlins for 1 year, just 1 year.
How old was he at this
He
time?
was retired. He was like, I don't know, maybe he's 50 now. I don't know. Maybe he was like 45, 46. And Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton was on the Marlins, right? So he's doing like plate recognition. Like when you see the ball, you have to adjust to what's coming. So he's talking to Giancarlo Stanton, who's a all-star, maybe might be a Hall of Famer, okay? He goes, when you see the slider coming, this is what you do. You weight back in your hip, you rotate it. He's like, I don't know. I can't see the sliders coming. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know the slider's coming. He's like, you can't see the spin of the ball, the spin, the rotation of the red things. He goes, you can't see that spin. He's like, I don't see any spin. What are you talking about? He couldn't comprehend how he was so much better than everybody else. Because you see like a little circle. He goes, when you see that slider, he couldn't get to other people that he was so good that he could see the recognition of the thing. That's why he quit. He was fired after a year because he wasn't a good coach. He's a terrible coach. That's how good of a player he was.
It was just like hands and pure instinct. How do you feel about a guy like Babe Ruth?
How do I feel about him?
Yeah, and is he black? What is this?
I mean, I love to party with him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the guy loves champagne.
The guy loved drinking.
Love champagne and hookers. That's what I heard. I mean, everyone says like they're all the greatest of all time, but he was also playing against plumbers. Like it's black people weren't allowed to play. Spanish people weren't allowed to play. Let me tell you something. I played against black and Spanish people. They're better than us. They're good. So I don't know. I mean, I think Willie Mays is probably the greatest player of all time.
Interesting.
Shout out Willie Mays if you're listening.
Yeah, shout him out. 755 homers, right?
No, that's Hank Aaron.
Ow.
Willie Mays is 690 something.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. You're a tennis guy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're a tennis guy.
So how did you get into tennis though? That you're going every year?
Because I'm a loser.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, I love sports. I love sports, and I'm socially awkward at times. So instead
You
of
don't seem socially awkward.
a little bit socially awkward, if I don't want to be around people, I make it very obvious that I don't want to be around people at times, which is not good. I should be like a little more open. But I'll go right to the phone. I'll look at shit, and I'm just like, I'll just go right to that.
But you have a podcast. You're good at making conversation.
I guess, but like, it's just I can't fake anything. I can't like fake being nice to people.
Right.
It's a problem. Right. Yeah. So I can't just be like, oh, you want to talk about spoons? Let's fucking party.
Fucking spoons.
Yeah, I don't know what to like. So that's a problem. So yeah, that's what it really is.
All right, well, let's talk about growing up in New York City, because you and I both grew up in New York City.
Yeah, but you're like a city kid though.
You didn't come to Manhattan at all?
We did, but you guys city kids are weird, man. You guys are just so much more advanced than we are.
Well, did you like take the bus to school? Or did you drive?
Well, I got driven to school bus home. But like it was a Queens bus, a little different. The Q88 is different than the city transportation here. Like I've known a bunch of city kids. You guys were like had fake IDs at like 15.
Yeah, dude.
You guys are partying at 15, rehab by
16.
21.
Bro, you're right. Like a good amount of kids, seriously, that I knew were sober by age 22.
It's crazy. You guys are so much more advanced than us. You guys have money too.
How did you get home from parties though?
We partied in parks, bro.
So you would like just walk home back to your house after the party?
Fucking stumbling at like 11:30.
Like nobody was really driving though where you were.
No. No one really had cars. Parents had cars.
Do you have your license?
Oh yeah, I have a car now. Yeah.
Okay.
But parents, listen, Queens is you get 2 cars if you're lucky, and that's about it. Like my parents had
your dad's car, your mom's car.
Yeah, like my parents had a Lexus. Everyone thought we were rich. That's how fucking crazy it is. I swear to God.
And you were just whipping it around when you're like 16, 17?
No, my parents never let me drive. They knew I was an irresponsible kid. They're like, you're not driving. I didn't think.
What were some of the bad things you did in high school? Being an irresponsible
No, I was irresponsible by like letting people do shit. Like I couldn't say no to kids. And then if they want to do something, like, yeah, well, whatever.
Like kids would be hitting the mailbox with a freaking bat outside your window.
I'm like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. Yeah. I would like, cool. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't like, I didn't do drugs really. I drank a little bit in high school. That's about it. But I didn't like, I was just like, I was very influential. People could just say shit. I'm like, okay, can you do whatever? I just want to be like liked.
What was it like going to a Catholic school out in Queens?
It was the best. I love all boys Catholic high school. Shout out Holy Cross Knights.
So where were the girls?
St. Francis Prep. That was where the girls were.
Oh, dude, because I knew a girl who played tennis there. I didn't know that it was just a girls' school.
No, they were co-ed.
Oh, it's co-ed.
Yeah,
right.
But that was a big thing that we dated a lot of their chicks.
Oh, and they didn't like that.
And the boys didn't like that at all. Yeah.
At basketball games, they were just chirping you guys.
Oh,
Holy Cross kids are gay.
They would, wait, what's one of the things? Oh, there's no stairs at Holy Cross because fairies fly.
That was one of the chants?
That was one of the things.
There's no stairs at Holy
Well, that's what they used to
Cross.
say about us and shit like that.
Oh.
But no, because we dated a lot of their chicks. We had a better football team. They had a better baseball team than we did. But like they were better. We were better at a lot of sports than they were. And they just didn't like us. There's fights all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Like during sporting events?
After school.
Really? How close are the schools?
Mile down the road from each other.
Was it on the other side of the LIE?
We got it. This is the best though.
Other side of the highway.
We got out at 212. They got out like 250. So if there was a fight, everyone knew in the school. Like 50, 60 kids would be on the Q88 just rolling up to St. Francis Prep.
Oh,
and
on the thing above the LIE?
Yeah, as soon as they got out of school, we just a fucking fight would just break out.
You ever get in one of those?
And no, I was a pussy. I didn't want to get into fights like that. I also wasn't like those kids lived out like in that area. So I lived all the way in Middle Village, just further away.
So which one was like the more sketchy area? Where they were at or where you guys were at?
I mean, they're both fucking white areas that try to be there from Queens. So it's not like it tried to be tough or not. There were some kids that were like our school was like probably 25% black kids. So they usually come from harder areas that I used to like drop kids off at times.
What are some of the neighborhoods that are right around there? Not like Great Neck, right?
Bayside,
Queens.
Bayside, Flushing. Douglaston. What else?
Oh, that's where McEnroe's from.
Johnny Mac's from Douglaston. I met Johnny Mac in the city once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I gave him
randomly.
I gave him his parking spot. That was double parked, and he pulled up next to me. And he goes, I didn't want to give this spot. I was like, people like passing by. I'm like, no, I'm not moving. And I was like, double parked. You can see, there's an open space. I'm like, I'm not moving. I don't give a fuck. I'm not moving. He rolls up. He's like, you have your parking spot? I go, Johnny Mac. I go, yeah, buddy, have my spot. No problem. I don't give a shit.
Worry. Dude, you were like, I love the U.S. Open, by the way.
Johnny McEnroe.
He does a great job, man, in terms of bringing the crowd in on watching TV, tennis on TV, because sometimes, man, it is extraordinary.
I love the Johnny Mac documentary.
Me too. The one was like on Showtime.
Yeah.
So that's.
I love when he was like Wimbledon. He won Wimbledon. He's supposed to go to the event afterwards to say, he's like, I don't want to go. I don't like these people. And he just didn't go.
He played at Port Washington out there in Long Island, and I've played a bunch of tournaments there.
Yeah, he didn't go to college though.
No, he went to Stanford for a year.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and he won the national tournament.
Oh, okay.
So I knew a kid he was about 2.5 years older than me. He ended up going to USC. He won the team title at USC freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. He won the individual title his junior and senior year. He won 72 matches in a row. This kid, Steve Johnson, who, if you guys know tennis, you know Steve Johnson. His career high was 25 in the world. And that just speaks to anyone who's extraordinarily successful in college, not being able to, crack it at the highest
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
72 matches in a row, junior and
That's
senior
how-
year. And then went pro, got to 25 in the world, and now he's like 60. And that's where he stays.
No one, like people don't realize how like the small incremental differences of like how much better they are.
Professional sports.
Professional sports than we, even like when I was going down to like Georgia, like how much, little bit better than they were. They just got the shit quicker. They just did shit quicker.
What
a little faster.
What do you think about talking about that in terms of like football though? You know, like because a guy like was like an offensive lineman. You see the movie The Blind Side, and the kid didn't play football till what? He was like 17 years old, and then he made the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's chicken nuggets right there. It's just a lot of chicken. I actually, offensive linemen in high school were some of the most uncoordinated kids I've ever seen in my life. I mean, listen, they didn't play, but like, we would like take batting practice, and they were like, we can swing the bat. I'm like, okay, swing. And we would throw BP, and they couldn't hit the ball. The hand-eye coordination was terrible. They're just fat fucking kids.
Did you know a lot of kids who played sports in college though, going to a Catholic boys school?
Not
Queens?
a bunch of kids, I think.
Really?
The biggest kid was this kid, Kevin Ogletree. He went to the University of Virginia. He played for the Cowboys. And he was like he was the star of the school. Like everyone knew who the fuck. He literally, when he signed for UVA, he like didn't go to class.
How big
No
was
one
he?
cared. Not big, 6'1", 6'2", wide receiver.
Oh,
he was a wide
okay.
receiver in the
He was an
NFL.
athlete. Did he play basketball too?
Dominated basketball.
Yeah, that's so funny how you can find like basketball, football, and baseball. Like kids who are insanely good athletes usually are good at those three specifically.
Yeah. He literally never picked up. Like he just stopped.
Yeah,
he
it's
just
so
he was
funny.
and he was so good. And football he took more seriously. Obviously, he played it, but like he would have scouts come to baseball games in high school to see his like skill level.
To play another sport?
Play another sport. They would like want to see his skill level and how fast he was, something like that. They scouts for football. I remember one time he gave me a card. He goes, "Hold this." It was a scout from Michigan State.
That's hilarious.
Give it his
Car
thing.
from Michigan State. So
Yeah.
I chose between tennis and baseball when I was like 12 years old. I won the MVP of my Little League in Peter Stuyvesant Little League over here.
Yeah, but it's come on. It's Manhattan.
And I was
Come on.
going to like tennis camp that week, so I had to decide if it was tennis or baseball, and I chose.
I think you
tennis
made
at
the
that
right.
point.
You made the right thing.
I don't know, bro. I will have never known.
But you have any idea how lucky white people are that like tennis is a expensive sport? Because if black people just got into really tennis,
Well, now you're
they
seeing
would
more,
dominate.
you're seeing some more inner city type players. who
There's a
play
little bit, but
basketball.
like if it was
No,
as prevalent
tennis.
as basketball,
Yeah, dude.
You
Like Kobe Bryant played a little bit of tennis, and everybody was always talking about if Kobe was a tennis player. I mean,
6'6", yeah, a guy who's
lanky.
fast. Imagine LeBron serving you up right here, and he could spin on the ball.
It's interesting.
Let me ask you a question about tennis. So a lot of the players and like they all know each other, right?
The
Is there
tennis player,
even like
at what level though?
even when you were like growing up, it's like the tour. Like,
I know.
Is there a lot of like fucking banging of the other? Like everyone's like banging each other.
A little bit, maybe so, but like it would be at like the highest
Ted's
level.
mom, by the way. Sorry about that.
And grandma too.
Yeah, oh,
it would,
shit,
it
you're-
would be the highest level though. You know,
Oh,
it would
okay.
be like the kids who live at IMG or live at Bollettieri's. Those are like the kids who are top 10 in the country, so they kind of have their own circle. And then the kids who are growing up in the East, like me, the Connecticut, New Jersey, New York kids, it was a different level of tennis. So like we wouldn't all see each other on like every single day. Like everybody who's living down in Florida, they're going to the same academy, they're training every single day, every morning. But up here is a little bit more dispersed.
Yeah.
But in general, the top tennis world or people who were traveling to all the tournaments, there was a lot of not incest, but people all knew each other.
Yeah, they all knew each other. Well, who was the best player you ever played?
Best player I ever played. That's an interesting question because the best player who I ever beat was younger than me at the time. So I beat Noah Rubin when he was 12 years old. I was 15 years old.
You were
He was
29
playing-
years old,
he was-
actually.
He was playing the 16 and under tournament.
Oh, really?
And his career high is like 100 in the world. He got a set off Federer. He's good. He's like 100 in the world now. But that was my biggest win.
Yeah.
When he was 12 and I was 15, which is a completely different game of tennis.
Yeah. Kids have pubes yet. And
Yeah, he
you're
wasn't even
you're
hitting
smoking.
big serves. Yeah. I was like hitting it
That's
over his head.
crazy though. How fucking good. He only got to 100 in the world.
Dude, he won Junior Wimbledon when he was 17, and he only got to 100 in the world.
Oh God. Yeah,
Tennis is just from the ages of 17 to 20, like so much happens in the game of tennis.
Yeah.
So much. It's
And
wild.
it's before Federer, you were out by 32.
Yeah,
you were
dude.
toast.
Like Andy Roddick retired when he was 30.
Yeah.
So he won the U.S. Open when he was 21 years old, which is unheard of. A guy like Carlos Alcaraz winning it at 19 is crazy.
Yeah.
But Andy won it, hosted SNL the next week, and then
Everyone thought he was going to be the next fucking star.
It was crazy because you watch him and you were like, he's not that great.
You watched that documentary about him though with Marty Fish.
Yeah, him and Marty Fish bugging out, true comedian form. His anxiety.
No, but they asked though. They go like, what was the bubble that burst the U.S. men's tennis thing? Why isn't anyone better than you guys are? He goes, yeah, the bubble's called Roger Federer. He's so good. He won everything.
Yeah, and he could have won like 5 or 6 Grand Slams if it wasn't for Roger Federer.
Yeah, and he had a big serve.
Which is crazy. Federer had everything. His career record against Roger Federer, if I'm not correct, I'll pop it up right here, but I think it was like, it ended up being like 2-30. Something like that.
So do you dominate ping pong now?
I'm pretty good. You know who's really good? Speaking of Giulio Gallerati.
Is he? I was going to ask, is he better than you? I played Julio once and he fucking murked me.
Where'd you play him? At Spin?
I think somewhere we played, yeah. I don't know where it was.
23rd Street and like a little ping pong club. He loves going there. So last time we played 3 out of 5 sets. He was up 2 sets to love. And I came back and I lost in the 5th set.
I'll say this. It was I know I can't handle pressure because I'll be playing ping pong and I'll have match point on somebody and they have like 5 things. I fucking break it down every time.
Tennis, those last points are super crucial in terms of like anxiety driven. Like there's so many times when I've had match points and I've lost. Like every point matters. It's maybe, you play golf at all?
No.
I never play golf, but it's like every shot, matters.
I do 3 holes. I'm like, this sucks. I'm getting out of here.
It takes a little bit of time. Sometimes a little boring for me too. I haven't played in a while, but like it could be a little slow if you're not on the course with your boys.
Yeah, I never realized how but like those last points is so like it's in your head. It's like just don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it. I'm playing outside in the backyard. I'm like don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
Do you live close to Astoria Park?
Live like a block away.
Okay, so when I was a freshman in high school and I was homeschooled, I used to run out there like 3 days a week. All around, like under the bridge on that park when it was red. This
could be your origin story of how you got good. You know,
exactly.
Homeschool, you didn't have any friends, so you had to go.
You literally had to go. That's crazy, dude. Freshman year,
you had to go meet the black tennis player, and that's how you go learn about their urban youth.
The Cuban running coach. That's who it was. I forget his name. Edwin Senadoran.
Do you ever see those chess people that play in the parks
everywhere?
It's sometimes I think a white kid playing against a 55-year-old black guy, just giving him the business.
You know what? Those guys have got to be making at least $250 a day, some of them. Just sitting there hustling, $20 a game.
I try to do a joke, but it never worked. Like sometimes like homeless people are legit playing chess. And like, I don't know how to play chess, but they're homeless and they're playing chess. I'm at home and I don't get like.
Well, they're not paying taxes, bro.
I guess so, but I'm like, how the fuck can these guys play chess and I can't play chess?
Some of these people who panhandle in New York City, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the same people sitting in the same space, like the same place. Like, dude, they make a couple $100 a day.
I'm immune to that
easily.
Shit. If you're white and you're trying to give money, I'm like, get out of here.
I'd much rather give somebody food or a drink, man. But people don't want food or drink. They'd much rather have your money.
Because they want heroin.
Yeah.
If you can't buy a heroin with a cheeseburger.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or they say heroin is the cheeseburger.
But I come into the city as a kid though. You probably saw like homeless guys doing like shit, like shady shit to like. Dude, I remember one time we were driving into the city and we gave a guy like $1. He was like on in a wheelchair or something like that, and he couldn't move. And then like 2 hours later, we saw him again. He was holding the wheelchair, walking away with it.
No.
Yeah, that was my first experience. Like, oh, they're kind of shady people. Okay.
Oh, damn. So this is like in Manhattan when you went in?
Yeah.
Damn. You ever go a lot with your friends though into Manhattan?
We didn't really go into the city until I was like 19, 20.
And what kind of stuff were you doing? 19,
bars,
20?
like bars. Because I had a fake ID. I had my brother's ID. So, and then no one really had IDs at like 18, 19. And a couple got ID. Because the city, you had to have a fake ID.
Yeah.
So a couple got IDs and they're like, oh, let's start going to the city. Let's do something. We would go like the Village or some shit like that as a 19, 20-year-old. Like, we were the coolest kids in the world. Go to the Village. Like, bro, we're going to the city, bro. It's crazy.
And then what, you just take the train back?
I have cool parents. I have really cool parents. I have a cool mom. Well, she was like, listen, I know you're going to fucking party. I'd rather pick you up. So like my mom didn't like, my mom doesn't sleep like 3, 4 in the morning. So I'd be like, I'd be the only one. Everyone else's parents like, fuck, get home yourself. I call my mom like 2:30. Can you pick us up? We're fucking hammered. She's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm fucking here. Like, okay, just come in and get us.
Come to the city?
Yeah.
You know, that's got to be a great part about growing up and having parents who are so lenient like that. I would like to think that I will be like that with my kids. Like, if you're going to drink, whatever, just do it in my basement. If you're going to smoke, just freaking do it over there. Do it in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Hotbox the bathroom.
She's like, I don't want you traveling the train at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, dude. So when parents don't, like, you close that gap with their kids and they try and keep it like a don't ask, don't tell policy, it's not so good.
It does get a little rough though when you're 19 years old and it's the summer and you're calling your mom every weekend for a ride.
Well,
she's
then,
like,
at that point, she could like put her foot down.
Yeah, she's like, I think you might be drinking a little too much, Chris. I think you might be doing that.
Scopo, knock it off.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you, mom, I do it myself.
Were you working in jobs in the city at that age?
Well,
where were you working?
It was weird. Like I kind of like, my brother had jobs going on. He didn't play sports, but my parents were a little more lenient with me because I played baseball. I was traveling a lot for baseball.
Oh, okay. That was like your job.
Yeah. Up until I was like 16, 17. And then one of my buddies called me up one time in high school. He's like, you want to work this job in the city? It's being an usher on Broadway as one of the ushers. And I was like, what do I do? He goes, he's got to show people to their seats. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I think my senior year of high school, I did that.
What show?
I did a bunch of shows. I did it at the Music Box Theater in 45th and 8th Avenue. And it was an easy job. I would work probably 2-3 times a week, make like $200. And then I would do that when I come back from school in the summers or in winter break. I'd text the guy like, hey, I'm back from school if you have any open availabilities. And he would fucking just give me shit. I'd make like $500 a month or something like that. It's the greatest job in the world. Nothing. We just get hammered, bro.
Yeah, working a few days a month.
We used to go there because like during the show, we used to take breaks. So if we used to go out afterwards, we used to fucking get hammered in the back area because we had like our own special area
of the theater,
dude.
That's hilarious.
We would, and then because there was on Saturdays 2 shows, so you have to like you start drinking the first show.
Would you drink the alcohol that was already there?
No, we'd get our own shit. We'd bring our own beers in with it. And the guy who ran the whole thing didn't give a shit. He goes, you guys were nothing. We used to bring kegs from back in our day. Dude, I used to sit people fucking hammer drunk. And I'd be like, yeah, go over here.
Oh my God, love that.
I fucking sat Pacino once. Leonardo DiCaprio. I've sat a bunch of famous people. Yeah. It was so much. It was all boys. Oh, so Irving Berlin owned it.
Who's that?
He's a famous, I don't know, he fucking probably, Illuminati shit back in the day. He was rich, but his family owned the Music Box Theater. And in his will, he goes, there will be no female ushers at my place. I will not allowed to have female ushers. It had to be all male ushers.
What?
Except the guy's daughters. The only 2 that would do it was the guy that ran the whole thing's daughters.
Why though? I
That was his thing. He wanted all, I think he probably was like raping the kids back in the day or something like that. But like he wanted, so it was all boys. It was the fucking.
It was boys.
Boys.
So it was all like your guy's age, like 20.
It was, yeah. We had a couple guys who were a little older who this was their side job as well. Wow. But dude, it was fucking fun, dude. We didn't do shit. We were fucked up all the time. Some of the plays, like the plays that they wouldn't sell out at all. There'd be like 5 people up top. I used to come. I'm like, sit wherever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. We used to get hammered. What else did we do? Oh, we used to gamble downstairs. One time we were gambling so loud that people had to come down from the play and be like, guys, people can hear you upstairs outside. And the thing,
like people, like audience members.
Yeah, because we were fucking screaming and stuff like that.
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
Oh, it was a good time. I should have kept that job. I don't know why I did it, honestly.
So how did you get into comedy from this point where you're like, oh, this theater looks great, I want to be up there?
It's kind of like that, but I was like, I think I took one acting class because this producer guy was like, do you like acting? I was like, I want to try. He's like, here's my acting coach. I went to this acting class and it was the worst acting class I've ever seen in my life. This like lady was like, she's probably a good acting coach, but she was like screaming at the people. I'm like, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to do like something fun. So I was like, let me just try comedy. And I just tried it. And then I fucking, I'm here at the Ten Jones podcast,
absolutely crushing it right now. And then you would just go into the city?
Yeah.
Like from Queens?
Yeah, I go into the city. I worked part-time in the city as well. And then you just stay in the city and hang out. And I used a lot of naps in cars. I did a lot of naps in cars and shit. Like if you get like 2 hours to kill. Think I'm writing? No, I'm taking naps in cars.
Did this happen after you went to Sacred Heart or the kind of before
I was
summers and
23 when I was 24 when I started comedy. So it was after, college for me was like, I was never going to end. This is going to be the greatest time ever. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to party in college. And then I was like, well, this is a real world now. This sucks.
Did you move home after college?
Yeah, I lived home until I was like 27, 28. Because it was like why I get moving into the city and partying and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't really have a lot of money. I'm going to be poor right away. I would just save up money living at home.
So when you first moved to the city, do you have roommates in comedy?
Yeah. We lived in a comedy house in Astoria. It was a known comedy house.
When was that?
I was like 28 to 32, 33. I lived with Pavone, Alex Pavone, Mike Albanese, Joe List, a bunch of other people. It was comics come back and forth and shit like that.
Whose house was it? A landlord?
This Chinese guy? Landlord guy.
Why was it a comedy house?
We have no idea why. We lived with this old Indian man named Jay. This old Indian man who we don't know. He could have been 45 or 75. We are not sure his age. He lived there. He like saw all the comedians come through. And he was, dude, he's actually the greatest guy in the world, Jay. We love him. We still talk to him a little bit to this day. And he would come, dude, he would fucking rag on us. One time we were watching Joe List's special on the TV. Me, Pavone, and Albanese were hanging out. And Jay walks out of his room and he goes, oh, I know that guy. And he goes, he got out that hair like you guys didn't do.
Dink. So is it still a comedy house?
No, I think I left right after the pandemic. And I think the landlords, they were the worst people in the world. We hated them. We used to fight with them constantly. They were the worst people. And then I think they wanted to just kick us all out. And they kicked us all out. And it's not a comedy house anymore.
What happened to you during the pandemic? You moved out wise.
I had the best pandemic of my life.
Wow.
I crushed the pandemic.
Best of your life.
Honestly, I have to say this. I was probably the top 5% of people in pandemics.
Let's hear it. What'd you do?
I lost 40 pounds.
40?
40 fucking pounds. I stopped drinking. Didn't drink at all during the pandemic.
How did you lose 40 pounds not moving, though, and just sitting around in the apartment,
for 2 weeks, I went to my parents' house in Queens. I worked out in their garage. And I was like, I'm going to keep this going. So I moved back to Astoria. I would get up like noon, walk around for a little bit, come back, and go straight to the park and work out for 5 hours.
Wow.
Just do that because we couldn't do anything.
How was your diet?
Perfection.
So what was it
I went
initially,
to a specialist,
and then how did you switch it?
Special guy, he got me like lean, what to eat, 6 ounces of chicken, 6 ounces of beef, whatever. Plus I was getting cash from the government. I felt like I was a fucking Terminator. I was like this. I feel amazing right now. And I just constantly eating properly, doing this. I also got dumped like 3 months before that. So that was a little payback in my head.
March of 2020?
Yeah, I got done. It was like a lot of dumping going on in my life. I just realized that now. Not great for me, but like I think October she dumped me.
It just means you're closer to the one, bro.
Yeah, that's what I say. But yeah, so I got dumped, and then I was like, I want payback on this bitch. I just got fucking ingrained. Dude,
revenge.
I went from 240 to 193.
Do you have any before and afters?
Yeah.
Can you send it?
Fucking yeah. My phone's in my pocket.
All right, he's sending it right here. Scopo, look at this before. Is this a shirtless and after?
I don't know. I had no befores. I have an after though. I have an after. No, I didn't.
I pop up the after.
I'll take the after.
You look good.
I'll give you the after. The after's a nice one. Let me tell you. I got abs.
Nice. Running a little bit?
No, it was all like high intensity interval training.
Okay.
But I was outside in the park. I was tan.
Son.
I was tan. Dude, I had the best tan of my life. I looked so good.
Did you have the man bun at this time?
It was growing out. I cut the man bun off the other day, actually.
Bro, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, your hair looks great.
Thanks, buddy. I gotta go ahead hair. How'd you get into comedy?
I was doing...
Can I ask you one question? I just remember you were Julio's boy, and you came around, and all of a sudden you started rapping one day, and I was like...
Let's fucking go. Where, dude?
Like,
where?
The Black
Cat. Let's go, dude. That's where I freaking started. Everybody was laughing at your boy, but now I'm laughing at myself.
Ted used to come in and do raps, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, right? I just knew you were Julio's boy, and I was like, this is pure Julio.
Yeah,
like, this is all...
But I used to take classes at UCB for years before I really got into stand-up. Went to Asylum NYC and I was like, I know a bunch of comedians just from being around for so long. I know a bunch of comedians. I can put together a great comedy show. So I put together Ted Jones comedy show at Asylum and then just slowly started to pick up just on the stand-up.
Yeah, you're TEDJONESWORLD. I see it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Always the freaking merch.
Yeah,
dude. So I mean,
you got a lot of good positive, like you've produce good energy out to the world.
I appreciate that.
I see you and I'm like, oh, this guy got good energy. Okay, let's see what's going on.
I appreciate that a lot, man. Yeah, so I think just in general, it was like I wanted to do improv almost full time, and then I just like got the stand up bug, and I was like, oh, this could be potentially better because I don't have to rely on people fucking up, as in like a baseball over tennis over baseball.
Improv's weird. I can't do improv.
Really good improv is fun to watch. Really good improv. But sometimes it's bad.
I mean, I'd rather see stand up. Like,
really,
it's just, it's more real. I feel like improv just actors who are just not great at acting for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because I've done shows with like improv actors and I'm like, I just don't like it. It's not real. Well,
have you seen a really good improv show where you're like, wow, they did a great job? Or no, not really.
Probably not. No.
Did you ever get into improv at all?
No. I'm also I'm a one-sided like Queens. Once my mind's made up, I'm like, and like everything else is fucking gay.
I hear you. I think though, if you did see a really good improv show, you would appreciate it. The little nuances, the things that are very normal about the scene can be funny.
Okay. All right.
And in stand-up, you know, it's hard to say something that's like very real and on point for that specific moment and people die and laughing. And in improv, it's different. You know, like you can say something, or like every time you walk into the door in improv, you can pretend to take off your shoes. And then one time you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot to take off my shoes. Like little nuances, things like that are in real life situations.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't find that situation funny in the stand-up set.
Yeah. I know you got to guess that in a lot of shit. Don't end it. Don't. Yeah. It's whatever. But, you know. keep it moving. I guess.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, Chris, what else is coming up for you exciting at the end of 2022, man? I see you all over the place.
Hey, thanks for that. Thank you for shouting me out and acting like I actually have something going on in
You
this
do,
business.
bro. Stop.
Come
Don't
on.
self-deprecate. You do,
No,
man. Seriously.
I can't. It's too much. Don't.
I mean, bro, I've seen you in the mix for years. See you doing all the hottest freaking spots. So what else are you looking? What are you looking to do?
Just being hot out in the streets. That's what
I
I've seen.
appreciate that.
Let me tell you.
I absolutely do. And I'm single. 917-215-5551.
Hey, there you go. You must crush with girls in the city.
Bro, no, just because I'm focused on doing this shit so much, man.
You know what I realized? The more you focus on this shit, the more girls want you. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. He's a good kid, Ted's mom. Okay,
love that.
All right, he never brings girls around. He doesn't never bring these sleazies around. You never see the sleazies out.
Only the nice girls.
Yeah.
So what's coming up at the end of 2022?
Buddy,
2023.
2023, a big year for me. I'm just gonna put it out to the world. I don't know what's gonna happen,
Are
but
you
big
gonna
year.
put it out in an hour?
I don't know. I want to do an album, but I don't want to do like everyone's do an album now. I don't want to do that. I want to be something different. I want to shoot it at a place where it's a little more special, a little sense of like New York and like just New York Comedy Club or whatever. I want to get a fan base, so we got to grow that. I want to craft the hour and make it like Akash Singh. You know Akash Singh? He did it perfectly. He got a fan base and he did his hour. And that was the Bring Back a Pooh was the first album he ever put out. And it's like, that's what I want to do. I just don't want to put an album out for the sake of putting an album out. So I'll wait for a little while, get it perfectly how I want it, and then I'll do it. Even if it's a little longer, I get it. But I want it to be special. I don't want it to be just throwing anything out there.
So would you put together 30 minutes or an hour, or you're just thinking just in general?
I'd probably do an hour, but maybe release 45 of it or 40 of it, wherever. Because I mean, there can be some. I'm very critical of myself too. So if the joke's not smashing, I'm not putting it out. So I want to make it like smashing. I do 45. 45 is like standard, I think, for like they say an hour, but 45 is standard for a show. That's what I would want to do. Make it special. Do something different.
And you think you're there though, like ready to go?
It's weird because like you got to put these clips out now, these stand-up clips. So I'm like confused in my head where like I have a good bit, right? It's like a 3-4 minute bit. I'll put 30 seconds of it out or something like that, and I'm like, now what do I do with that? It's good for it's a nice chunk. It's a funny thing in the bits. I'm like, do I not do that part in the album, or do I still do it in the album? So it's like we were putting all these tapes out, all these clips out. I'm not sure what the possibility of putting an album out is with these thing already out there. Is it going to be hack? Is it not going to be hack?
Well, are you're judging the bit based off of the?
I'm judging that fact that I put it out already. So people are going to see it.
Yeah, But the
thing is, though, you need to put clips out
about that. Yeah.
So I'm like, do I just not for like a year put anything out, or like just put crowd work out and focus on the actual album? But then I might not have the best I might not have the best clips. So it's a weird fucking thing of like, what do you do now?
And it's so different from like, music, when like people come to the music concert, everyone wants to know the song, right?
Yeah.
Like in comedy, people don't want to know every single joke.
No, you do the same. I remember I went to Maniscalco's concert like 3-4 years ago. He did a bit that I've heard before. I was like, that's odd. I've never seen that before from a comic.
Where did you see him?
The Garden. And I was like, that was odd. He did that. And I think he said, yeah, I'll recycle bits. I don't really care. I was like, I'm not judging the guy, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I would want to just do new material. So it's like a weird thing now where everyone's putting all this shit out, but it's like you're also putting out jokes that are good, jokes that are probably need a little more work, but the premise is already out there.
And you don't want people, during a live show yelling out the punchline or something like that.
I know what I don't want when people are like, oh yeah, I heard that joke already. That's the fuck. That would break my heart.
It's changing. I mean, I'm sure you probably think the same thing. 10 years ago, you kind of have your set and you can use it for as much time as you want. But now you're right. You have the pressure of putting up clips, making sure everything's good.
I remember,
you're like, I thought that thing banged. Did
yeah.
it do well?
I thought that, dude, five years ago, if you recorded a comedian set, they would get actively mad at you. They're like, don't do that. That's rude. Don't do that. And now people are like, yeah, people record me, like, yeah, record it, put it online. I don't give a fuck. As long as I'm not like doing anything bad in it, I don't give a fuck at all. Put it out there. It's a weird thing how like that change of like you're hoarding your material instead of just giving it out to the public.
So let me ask you this: with the shows, I don't know if you've done the shows in the metaverse or whatever. Do you think that comedy is going to drastically change to where over the next 5 years, comedians are like, all right, just put me up doing my same jokes everywhere, every night. I don't care.
I did one show in the metaverse, but I wasn't in the meta. I was just like, they took a clip of mine and they put it to the people in the metaverse. They already did it. And then they had a Q&A after or whatever. And that was actually fun to do, but it was that's going to hurt comedy, I think. I don't think that's great. I think it's great for people, you know, that are weird and don't want to be out, but like getting out and seeing live shows there's no feeling like it. You know, that it's harder to like, even if I watch a comedian on TV, maybe I don't laugh at them, and then I see him in person and I'm like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. So like being live there, I think makes it more special.
And I also think there's a big disconnect between, you know, me putting on my headset right now and seeing Chris Scopo out in Las Vegas and, you know, being with a million other people watching it on my couch. You know, and trying to see you as like a hologram and thinking about how real it is. But even there's a disconnect.
Even like, do you ever watch a movie that even during the pandemic, movies were coming out on TV? They weren't as good to me because my phone would be right next to me. I'd be like,
yeah, like Tiger King was one of the real last series. I remember I was locked into my screen for it. But besides that, I'm freaking on TikTok and then I have to rewind.
A lull in the thing. You're like, fucking, this tiger is way more fun. It's a tiger and a bear who are friends and shouldn't be friends at all. And you're like, this is amazing. This is so good.
Yeah, dude. That's why, I mean, like, you know, I don't know how much YouTube and like vlog stuff you watch these days. You watch like Mr. Beast.
I watch to see what he's doing.
YouTube, yeah. I mean, like you watch a video with him, the first thing, as soon as you press play, here I am on the desert, giving away $100,000 to 3 of my friends. Hey, so it's like every 3 seconds there's a cut, there's a cut, there's a cut. When you watch a comedy special, you know, when you say you have 45 minutes of material, like how much of that material is just word, you know, because there's probably a 5-second lull, maybe for a crowd, word. So I think it's just attention spans of the younger generation coming up, and we'll see how.
For the podcast, I studied like the. And it's insane what they want you to do you can't keep the same, don't post a stand-up clip with the same shot for 30 seconds. You have to,
it's the zoom in,
zoom out, zoom out, anything. You has to, because the algorithm will be like, nah, you're boring. I'm not putting that out. And it's not, I put one out the other day and it fucking bombed. And I'm like, I gotta figure out why that bombed. It's a weird thing. I zoomed in, zoomed out.
It's like the aesthetic of the font. The size of the font, if it fits on the screen, if you put in a nice sticker, you zoom in on the person's face. But yeah, it's a whole.
We're a slave to the algorithm.
Yeah,
let's be real.
As to the point where we shouldn't even be saying that word, dude.
Oh, Mr.
B says audience. He says don't use the A word. Use audience.
Oh, real? I think he meant slave. I was like, oh,
yeah, dude, don't use the slave word. God, Chris, this has been an amazing time, dude. I do want to talk about though, if you were going to be on the road in early 2023. I know you are always at many comedy clubs in New York City, but what do you got going on? I got
Saratoga
coming up.
Saratoga, New York, December 2nd and 3rd with Ian Fidance, that crazy son of a bitch.
And we can find this information on your Instagram.
Just go to Instagram or YouTube. Go to my YouTube. I need YouTube subscribers. I'm really hitting YouTube, my YouTube channel right here,
which is
youtube.com/Chris Scopo right here. It's right here. See that? You see it? Yeah, it's playing with it. Nice.
Absolutely. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This really was a great time. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in and listening. Like the goddamn video. Leave a freaking review and follow this guy. Okay? We'll see you guys next time. Peace.